Hi everyone, thank you so much for your patience. We are finally live. Well, we went through a crazy amount of technical difficulties. I even had to start a new email. Thank you so much for your patience. I know there's a lot of fans out there who probably want to feed me to a dragon with a pickle, and I would appreciate that not happening. So, welcome to our special guest, Paladin Jim. Three cheers. Yay. Okay. And then we've also got a great panel here. Stacy is going to be. Stacy, why don't you just wave hello? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am the Oracle. Send me your questions. I will throw them in as I can.
Awesome. And then, of course, we have the infamous, the one, the only, Joshua, my northern counterpart.
Hey, everyone.
Okay. Great artist right there.
Yes, the Josh time.
The Josh time. Okay. We also have a real American hero.
God.
Okay. Jonathan. Jonathan, you can go ahead and say something.
How's it going?
Woo! And then we have another great guy here who's doing if I'm right, comics, and he has helped me with the online artists and writers group. Alas for his microphone, but you know, welcome to Technical Difficulties Day. Everyone, please say hi to James. Tuesday. All right, so we are here for our Everealm Magical Edition. So I guess we can just start off. Comics, and he has helped me with the online artists and writers group. Alas for his microphone, but you know, welcome to Technical Difficulties Day. Everyone, please say hi to James. Okay, did everyone just hear me? Okay, we are here for our
A little bit of delay.
Magical Edition. Okay, anybody know how to fix it? I guess we can just start off. The fates aren't smiling on me today. And he has helped with the online art. Alas for his microphone, but you know, welcome to Technical Difficulties.
Has everybody got earphones? That'll help.
Let me hook mine up here. So I usually don't have problems with it without the microphones, but thanks everybody. This is my first time running these things. Josh was amazing and to take over for like the week, so I'll figure it out. I write.
Has everybody got earphones?
There it is.
Okay, we're good.
Has it gone away on your end?
Mm-hmm.
It has gone away.
Okay. Okay, I'm still hearing the echo on my side, so I keep talking, so I don't know. Let's just let it kind of catch up. This is so crazy. Okay, hey, we're here finally. Okay, awesome. So I'm still hearing me. Sorry, it's really awkward to hear me talking. Are any of you else hearing the echo?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore? Okay,
No.
well then I'll just ignore me, and if somebody's trying to talk, just raise your hand. Let me know. I just want to say, just really thankful to be here. Last, we had to let Eduardo and Gregg go. They couldn't wait due to the difficulties, so sorry guys, we'll get you back on, especially with Eduardo's new show, his new movie coming up, Exists. We were looking forward to hearing about that. Does anyone else think that looks terrifying?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I live in the Pacific Northwest, so Bigfoot's like everywhere around here, and there are like you can't. And some people get offended. You'll say like, "Oh, I don't necessarily believe in Bigfoot," and they'll kind of sidle up to you and be like, "They prefer to be called Squatches, like Sasquatch, but like short." Like I'm not trying. Anyway.
You don't want to offend them.
Yeah, you don't want to offend. My picture of a Sasquatch is always going to be Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. So we'll
Perfect.
True.
move on.
Well, Florida's got the skunk ape, which is pretty much the equivalent. So yeah, and that's like my backyard. So yeah, yeah, that movie scares the pants off me. Yeah, I like the human bait ad that Gregg posted.
Sorry, guys. The sound on my end is running behind. So, Stacy, I'm gonna let you carry it forward because I've got a lot of backlog. Sorry, guys.
Are you banishing yourself, Josh?
Is banishing the equivalent of lame
I'm
duck?
still hearing about Stacy's. Yeah, it does look terrifying, so I'm gonna look forward to seeing the movie. Oh my gosh. This is so ridiculous. I'm just gonna stop talking and you guys go.
Well, Tim, looks like you're our expert tonight.
I mean, I'll try.
Well, our friend Judith from Facebook has got a ton of questions. I don't know how many of these you're going to be able to handle.
I'll tackle them one by one. How about?
Okay, number one. Is it a rare gift to be a dreamer, or is it fairly common? Can you only have it if you inherit it from your father, like Creo did?
Okay, it's my understanding that, and I don't want to say something that's not part of the real mythology, but from what the paladins were taught, it is a rare ability. There are fewer dreamers in Everealm than there are queens and viziers and generals. Whether it passes genetically, I do not know, because Creo and Creo's father are the only dreamers that the paladins were taught about.
Fair enough.
I would be interested to know how you could become a dreamer, whether it's something you can acquire after you're born or not.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds like
I think the paladins have
something to forward on to our buddies.
Great.
Okay. Next. Anyone else got one to go before me? Like I said, I've got a list.
I'm just along for the ride, so you can go for it.
Josh's, James's, anybody?
I sort of had a general question about, well, magic in general. So actually, I want to ask everyone on the panel. Okay, so if you can remember, what was your first exposure to or earliest memory of the world of magic? So what introduced you to magical things? Was it through a book, a stage show, movie? Could be anything. Like where did it start for each of you?
I was given a copy of The Hobbit when I was in 3rd grade. I didn't read it till 5th grade because I got one of the funky editions, and so it had this really, really fat Bilbo and this really creepy-looking Gollum on it, and it didn't look right. So it threw me off. And then I actually got mad at my mom because my grandparents had given it to me, and so then in 5th grade I picked it up and kind of read it, and like kept reading it and kept reading it. And my mom came in to check on me, and I was like, "Why did you not let me read this for 2 years? How did you not throw this in my face? This is ridiculous." Like so, and from there it started, and it's just expanded. I didn't have a whole lot of friends in high school. I was the AV nerd, so I played Dungeons and Dragons. My hobby is really expensive. I don't recommend it. I collect fantasy-based chess sets.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
So they're pretty,
Oh yeah.
but they're all in boxes, and they've all cost me about a month's salary each.
Mm.
So I've got like 5, and it's like it's one of those things. But so it started with Tolkien for me, and then moved on to Dungeons and Dragons and Heroes of Might and Magic, and Raymond D. Feist, and basically anything you can think of from there. And so it's been my whole life. It's been since 3rd grade. And dragons, and I used to think that there was a dragon that lived in my backyard because my dad was an ass. So, when I was really little, I was completely convinced, and was really disappointed to find out that it wasn't true.
That was disappointing.
Mine was The Wizard of Oz, and that led me into Baum's books, where they really get into the magic system and Glinda and the witches and all that fun stuff. And then about the same time, and I'm going to show my age here, CBS used to run every year an animated Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I remember that.
Awesome. I have found so few people who do. Nobody
I do remember
remembers
that.
this.
Absolutely.
And that was an annual thing like they did with Wizard of Oz. So every year I was camped in front of my TV watching this lion leading these kids through the woods, and that did it for me. So that's what got me into magic and fantasy at all.
Cool.
Very good.
For me, now that I finally figured out what was wrong, I can actually hear you all. Just,
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. I'm back. No, okay. I was working on a science fiction story during a creative writing class in high school. My teacher was reading Lord of the Rings behind me, and so I turned over and I asked her, "What are you reading?" And she went on into this entire thing about the fantasy genre and everything else, and it was so fascinating. At first my thing was, well, does anybody die? And I'm thinking, that's a horrible thing to ask, and what led from there was a short story that eventually has now become a novel that I hope will become a series, which is the Aletheia novel. So I live fantasy in here all the time. I know my world, I know my cultures, I know everything. I see my characters, I visualize their interactions, I know the magic system. It is what goes on up here. And so, for me, when the Quest showed up, I was like, sweet! Because what better way to actually get immersed in the entire thing? And so, that's part of my journey there. Jim, do you want to say anything? I don't know if you have because of the thing.
No, sure. My experience has to be the Harry Potter books. It was 2nd grade when I was introduced to the first book, and it involved my dad reading it to me, and then as I got older, it was both of us reading, and then I took off on my own.
Sweet.
And I think it was my involvement in the Harry Potter fandom that taught me about magic and its possibilities. I can't really think of any show or anything that I saw that would make that connection for me. I think it was the book that did. So.
Cool. That's great. And that's really cool that your dad read it with you.
Oh, yeah.
I plan on reading with my daughter, so it'll be great.
Very good.
Yeah. I just have to know, what was it like for you getting to go on this show? I mean, tell us about that.
Yeah, it was an absolute dream come true. Throughout the entire audition process, I kept saying to myself, you're not going to get this. Someone like you is not going to make it onto something so awesome. And then I would go on to the next stage of auditions, and I would say, okay, you're moving on. Don't get your hopes up. But it just kept going and going, and then I was in Everealm. And talk about a fish out of water story, but in my introduction video, we talk about how I was so used to putting myself into these sort of scenarios or dreamscapes in my mind, and then to get to live it was just inconceivable. Inconceivable! So it was definitely a dream come true. You know, a once in a lifetime opportunity to be sure.
That's great, man. It was great to have you there. I loved what Shondo said about you. Like,
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, like a lot of stuff. I mean, Jimbo Slice, that's awesome. But
Jimbo Slice.
but
I'm also. Oh,
well, go
ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say I'm. No, you go first.
Okay,
You got it, Jonathan. Jonathan, go.
All right. Just that you put your mind into evaluating and considering everything. I totally related to that because people keep telling me, oh, this and this and this, especially when it comes to the Grand Vizier. And I am still not convinced the man poisoned the king.
Wow.
I'm still not convinced.
Okay.
And
Have him swish his tape in front of your face about 10 times, and then we'll talk.
So, what was it like for you trying to figure out the different elements and the culture and everything else?
I was more invested in trying to learn about the world as much as I could, probably more than I was trying to play the game, you know? I remember going into the challenges for the third episode, I was convinced that it was going to be a challenge that involved memorizing or having to use information. So I was in the Paladin Common Room memorizing the names of the 12 kingdoms.
Oh, nice.
Because they were all written around the edge of the table in the center of the common room. So I'm in there taking notes and like sitting in my room trying to memorize it, and then people come in and say, "What are you doing?" And I'm saying, "I'm studying the 12 kingdoms." And they're like, "I should do that too." So, no,
awesome.
my plans.
Well,
Yes, you should go.
What I was gonna say is just keeping more on the praise train. I'm actually Facebook friends with Katie, and so if I get this wrong, she's gonna watch this and hate me because she's from Chicago and she scares me. But she did, yeah, she did say, quote, "Jim was my absolute most favorite thing about the whole experience," end quote. So,
Well, she was definitely one of mine too. She's got one of the biggest spots in my heart from the show.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
yeah, she's pretty funny. She and I have been talking a little bit just about how everything went, and you know, what did you guys do when you were banished and you disappeared in the smoke and hung out or whatever.
Katie, Ashley, and I had many a banished adventure. It was
Really?
It kind of worked out in her favor because she said that after she was banished, you know, she had the most sword training of anybody because she had the longest time to learn it. Which, okay, sure, yeah, I'm off the show, but I get to fling her sword around. Okay, that's fine.
Exactly.
I'll live.
You banish me.
So, what were some of your adventures? Your banished adventures?
The post-banishment adventures. We went to the first day trip of post-banishment with me, Katie, and Ashley. We went to a torture museum.
Oh,
Nice.
We went to this very tall. It was a zoo. It was a zoo and an aquarium, and there was this open. It was monkeys. There were monkeys and bats. There were monkeys and bats, and it was just this huge open room that you had to start at the bottom and get to the top if you wanted to leave.
Oh God!
And
Oh wow.
the monkeys were not aware of personal space. So there's at least 1 or 2 videos of Katie and Ashley trying to maneuver through the room while something would fly by or a monkey would jump. It was really fun to watch.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Well, does anyone else have a question that they want to ask about, like, Banished Adventures or anything like that? Because I've got questions I want to ask about the mythology and magic. And
I've got one from Susie.
Okay,
She asked,
great.
Does everyone still call you Jimbo Slice now that the show is over?
A lot of people. My mom does.
Really?
A lot of my classmates do. A lot of my fraternity brothers do. My roommates do. It happens. It's stuck. It definitely stuck.
It's so
And I'm
cool.
totally fine with.
There are worse nicknames. I mean, this is a PG, vaguely PG show, so I will not explain some of the names that I have been called in my service time. So I'll take it you can and run with it.
Service is bad about that, I've heard.
Navy, and I'm dual service. I've done Navy and Army, so it's been a ride.
Wow. Yeah.
And one more. Any news on the soundtrack?
Someone tell me, because I've heard nothing.
You seem to be championing it, so I think that's why she threw
I
that
am
one out
most
there.
definitely a champion of this Quest soundtrack, the Quest for music right now.
Yeah, really.
I've contacted AH2, excuse me. I can never remember whether the 2 comes before the H or not.
I think it comes before.
A2H.
Yes.
I've contacted them, Jeff Lippincott. They have given all the rights to ABC, so it's all a matter of the network releasing the music. But I would buy that.
When you come to Florida, we're marching on ABC's offices with pitchforks.
Okay,
Well,
I'll be there in 2 weeks.
pitchforks, but let's find something peaceable and that's not gonna like.
So we'll put waffles on the pitchfork. What do you want?
Sorry, I fought in Sanctum, not Arcus, the diplomatic kingdom. Just saying.
Exactly. Swords, not doves.
Okay. Any other questions?
Like I said, I've still got a laundry list from Judith for mythology and magic. So.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's kick it off with Judith's question.
Okay.
Thank you, Judith, for your patience.
Yes, thank you, Judith. She's another one of our European army, so she's on Vizier time.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it's called now? He gets his own time zone?
He's just taking over.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's see, Zurich, Vienna. He owns it. Let it go. Okay. Is Phasne like Slytherin for Everealm? Has it produced many evil sorcerers, or is magic generally a neutral or a good thing?
Right. The Paladins didn't see much magic in Sanctum. I mean, Sanctum has its fair share of magic users, but Phasne definitely takes the cake when it comes to magic user producers. I don't know. I look at the Vizier not so much as a Slytherin as I do a Ravenclaw. I'm not anything against Ravenclaw House or Slytherin House, but I look at it as more of a Professor Quirrell sort of thing because he was definitely a Ravenclaw that was corrupted. So there is a limit to the amount of intelligence that you can have, which is the heroic attribute of Kingdom Phasne, is intelligence, and I think that the Vizier tested those limits and went past it, and that's what corrupted him. So.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say that it was I can't speak as to whether it was the magic or the intelligence or the lack of power that he got in Phasne that made him move to Sanctum and do mischief.
Oh, that's what it's called.
His mischief was not managed.
My trouble
Treachery would be another name for it, but go ahead and ask another one for Judith. She's been so patient.
Okay.
She was probably asking me with the hopes of...
Okay. 11 kingdoms on the rim and Sanctum in the middle. Is it just the strongest, or does it stand above the others for some reason?
You know, I was under the impression that Sanctum was the High Kingdom for so long. It's definitely the largest, which I think gives it the air of power.
Gotcha.
But as Gregg and Eduardo explained in the mythology Twitter conversation, there are other kings, there are other queens, there are other rulers for these kingdoms. So I don't believe Ralia is the queen of Everealm, although Suzanne might argue.
Milady.
Lady.
But no, I think that was the perfect prop. That was my favorite prop from the show, by the way, was the common room table. I think being in Sanctum, in Castle Sanctum, it was only appropriate that Sanctum take the middle spot on the table.
Right. Right. It would make sense, because if you would have any other grouping of kingdoms, you would expect that each individual kingdom would try to focus on their own, importance to the diminishing of the others. So,
which is why, as we're walking through the courtyards, you'll see Sanctum flags hanging, and the only time you see the symbols of the other 11 kingdoms are when we're in the Queen's throne room in episode 2. So.
That's a good point. I didn't know.
It was a nod. It was a nod to the other 11. But.
Nice.
Nice. Do you
and
think...
I've been called out by Judith. It is not Vizier time. It is Sanctum time. My apologies, Judith.
True.
Judith, we love you. You're amazing.
Sorry, my loyalties show.
Which is hilarious, because even though he was kind of revealed as the bad guy, there's a bunch of y'all that drank the Kool-Aid, and you're all like, it's okay, like, you don't care what he does.
That.
Okay.
There's a lot of Kool-Aid flowing around.
The Vizier army.
But, okay, just on that note, I have this entire reasoning behind why I think that he is misunderstood. Yeah, he committed treachery, and so there's some issues there. But, I think
so he's not evil, he just needs therapy.
He needs therapy and probably a jail sentence. But
I want to see the bill for that therapy.
Most of it's going to be about fashion, but whatever.
Hey!
But my big question is, given the nature of how the other kingdoms fell, it seems like they fell pretty quickly. What can you tell us about that, and what do you know?
What do I know? Well, I know that Verloc's power emanates from the Marwood. That's where everything bad starts to happen. So, if
and
I
you
were
guys went into the Marwood quite a bit.
We did, which was not the best place to be. I don't recommend it. It's not the best place to be.
Kind of like the crocodile hunter syndrome. That's the most dangerous snake in the world. I'm gonna touch it.
I'm gonna poke it with a stick.
The most dangerous forest in the kingdom. Let's go in.
So I can only assume that his powers went around Sanctum, because Sanctum is one of the 4 borderlands, the 4 kingdoms that border the Marwood Forest are known as the borderlands. Right. So I can only imagine that he went around and then came back to Sanctum from the west. So,
gotcha.
Of course, Oro was probably not the first kingdom to fall, because that's the one that I represent, of course. So.
Yeah.
I blame Comparsa. That was probably...
Then you haven't read of Everealm Rising, my fan fiction, yet. So,
I saw that it starts in Phasne.
Well,
I have it pulled up, and it's on my reading list. And being a college student is taxing, and my reading list is extensive enough. But I am going to read it this weekend.
I can imagine.
Not into it.
Awesome. Well, okay, just don't hate me. Okay, just don't hate me.
Oh.
Don't hate me, because my character is the bearer of the bad news.
It's true. Stacy and I got together and we're like, we really want to write fan fiction for the show. But we want to do it where we build continuity because we don't want to have like a Star Wars expanded universe where some authors went off there, some authors went off there, and all of a sudden Chewbacca's dead. And so. And so we got together and we're like, okay, well, let's create a few characters that we're going to use in each other's stories. And one of those is Karst, who is the Vizier's helper in Everealm Rising. So, yes. So
is he the one that released him from his binds?
Well, when I started,
started
CSI on episode 2, he nicknamed me Poirot to begin with.
He nicknamed you Perot?
And then Miss CSI, which got shortened to Miss C.
Oh my gosh. Perot's like...
he's like, who are you, Hercule Poirot? I'm like, dude, cool. But then he nicknamed me Miss CSI and then Miss C, so that evolved into Karst.
I like it.
Yeah.
So she's like his spy master.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see how her character develops over the course of my story. Okay, so
right now she's just you'll see her in Twitter poking at the good army.
Yeah, yeah. Be nice. Okay, it's all forever wrong. Yes. So one of the most interesting kingdoms to me has been Luas, and anyone else jump in because I feel like I'm asking tons of questions here. But Luas is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, they seem to have winged horses, Pegasus. What do you know? What can you tell?
What do I know? I know that the menagerie of Everealm is far greater than what we saw in our short time. There was a moment that did not make it into the first episode in which the Vizier visits the Paladins in jail.
Really?
And he was speaking with Creo, and he says, "I believe in the prophecy about as much as I do a unicorn." And that instantly made me question what we were going to encounter creature-wise in Everealm, but winged horses, no, we did not. We were not blessed with winged horses in the tournament for the Queen, so...
Not yet.
Not yet.
Season 2.
Right. Well, that was actually a question that I was going to pose to you all, and probably the Quest Army Facebook group later, was of the other 11 kingdoms, or 12, we can include Sanctum, which kingdom would you all want to see Season 2 featured around?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Can I choose a few?
I was going to poll the Facebook group later, so if you see a poll question, there will be options.
Awesome.
I am curious about Aura. I would love to see naval challenges.
Action.
Yes. Especially after the Vizier character that I created. She's kind of this tough... Because there's a Vizier conference going on in Fascinated at the time.
Yeah, there's the Council of the 12. So
yeah, the Council of the 12. And so she's this tough, like, no-nonsense, I'm going to destroy you, Verloc's army type of gal. And I loved her character.
She was awesome.
Yeah. So, Aura would be awesome. So
with Aura, I imagine like a kingdom by the sea, like Cair Paravel from Narnia. It would just be perfect.
Smalls.
Yes.
Dude. That would be awesome. Luas, I want to see Luas. I want to see those horses.
That always kind of reminds me of like Rowan from Lord of the Rings. Like I could imagine like just an open plains with a bunch of like individual towns with.
Hello, Rebecca. Sorry, let me interrupt you, Jonathan. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, Rebecca.
Your friend, relative, Duchess. I introduced her to the show a few weeks ago, and she marathoned it, and so
very good.
That's amazing. I loved it.
One of us.
glad you finally joined us. Okay, we're gonna go back to Jonathan now.
I was just gonna say, I'm kind of keen on the whole naval thing too, having spent so much time in the Navy, and that would be kind of fun. But I was kind of picturing me, and I think I think it was right in the beginning after the show that we were posing things in the Army Facebook page. Just what do you want to see other, like, what are the other kingdoms, like, backgrounds? Because, okay, Sanctum is kind of like the tropish medieval Western fantasy that we're all used to, which is great, but there's also a lot else you could do. So, you know, I'm thinking, like, it'd be cool to have one that's maybe like like a Mediterranean, like Arabic, you know, like maybe King's Landing-ish from Game of Thrones type, where it's kind of, you know, that kind of
awesome.
architecture, and you've got the round domes, and you've got that kind of thing. Or maybe, I think Ashley had said that maybe an Asian-inspired one, so something samurai-ish, kind of, you know, from one of the dynasties from then. So what I like about it is the fact that they've built into it the fact that they could theoretically have 11 more seasons. You just put it in a different, you know, say Verlox shows up every 1,000 years, and he's one of those that he's not actually dead, he just comes back every 1,000 years because he's a pain in the ass. And so then you just set it each time in a different kingdom, and then you maybe tie it back so you could be like, oh, you know, 1,000 years ago when these paladins from Sanctum showed up, so now we've moved it on to this kingdom, and we can, you know, Sanctum has maybe fallen into disrepair, and maybe they're like the banjo-playing rednecks of Everealm now, and we're all, you know, and you could move it on from there. It's just an idea. It doesn't have to happen. I'm just saying.
Poor Queen Ralia.
Poor Scar.
So once again, the question is, if there was a future season, which kingdom would you like it to be in? So, did I get that right?
Yes.
Awesome.
And you know, I think my bias goes to Aura.
Yeah.
But if I were unbiased, I would probably want it to be Phasne.
Yes.
Just because of the ties to the Grand Vizier. So
Yes.
I'll just leave that.
Yeah. And you know, the way I envision Phasne is more of an Arabic type of culture anyway. So, you know, with some, perhaps some Moors, Portuguese, Spanish connections.
It's very mountainous. It's the
Yes.
most mountainous kingdom.
Yeah,
Yes.
from your descriptions, Jim, it sounds kind of North Africa, Moorish sort of
Misty mountains.
area.
Yes.
Yeah, Misty Mountains.
Oh, are we about to sing?
No. No.
Yes.
You know, there are several paladins who sing.
Yes, there are. I
That's
am not one of them.
right. We've heard that. That's awesome.
Okay. Any more questions before I go back to my list?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about what happened at the Rending? Did Verlox attack his sisters, or did he just leave?
This is where I take notes.
Yes. Jonathan's been working on this great Silmarillion-esque history. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's working on it, and it was fantastic. So
Very good.
go.
All these students are friends of mine. Just doing enough. I'm consulting the Grand Library's documents.
Nice. I do
What I
that.
wouldn't give to have that what I wouldn't give to have that hard drive.
Right. I can only the Grand Warlocks only allow me to reveal so much at a time. I'm reading, excuse me.
That's okay. It's okay.
Well, as we have spoken about, it was based around jealousy and self-loathing on Verlox's part, and he tore himself. There's a bond that the fates share, and he tore himself from the ethereal, eternal plane into the reformation into the physical plane, while still maintaining his immortality. It's kind of a Voldemort on Horcrux's approach. He Although if Verlox has Horcruxes, that's an entirely different conversation we need to have.
Oh, hell yeah. Scavenger hunt.
Yeah, screw the fire orbs. We need to find those Horcruxes.
Well, now that I know how to make them according to my fan fiction.
Banished Paladins. Banishing Paladins tears the soul into multiple pieces.
They were inadvertently feeding him. No!
So, given that, I can't remember which producer I had read a tweet from, but they had said that the Fates were as much a part of the creation of Everealm as Everealm itself. If Everealm ceased to exist, the Fates ceased to exist. So does magic come from the Fates, or is there another source of it?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Fates are the source of magic. They did seem to have more ties to the earthly things, like the natural phenomena. Although I don't know if there is another source of magic in Everealm, I would want to know what that is. Perhaps it's more archaic than the Fates. I don't know.
Really? That would be
I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Interesting.
Write that into your history, Jonathan.
That was assumption. That did not come from any documents. I like to speculate too when it comes to this stuff.
Testimony
It's so much
accepted.
Yeah. We might as well just call it the Quest Expanded Universe, you know.
Seriously, we're gonna have it.
Portuaka. Okay, anyway, enough said.
As many ships as are being made right now, there's an expanded universe. And
I've heard
wants
the Paladin
me to tell Jim that he rocks.
I'm sorry, who was that?
That was Jacint.
Jacint. Yes. Thank
yes.
you, Jacint. You rock.
Hey!
She also wanted to hear me struggle to pronounce her name.
I think I struggled with it too, so we're on the same.
I do too,
ship.
I confess. Can I just call you Jay?
Well, I know we were joking about it rhyming with absinthe, which we're keeping in reserve for when the Vizier is vindicated.
That'll be nice.
I've had it. It's amazing.
I have a bottle imported from Czech Republic that I'm hanging on to.
It was in a bar in Hong Kong, and I thought the wall had started talking to me, so I tried to walk away, but my feet had already walked away from me, so I couldn't get away from the talking wall. It was
wow.
It was a mess.
Nice.
It was a mess.
Probably seem more at home in Everealm than just talking walls and everything. It's probably good time.
Yeah.
I will throw this out there. I was the one paladin who did not drink while we were filming, and that was...
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, that was...
You had just made a promise for your camp, right?
It was for my fraternity. I was an officer of my fraternity, and under oath I was not to have any alcohol, and I guess that transcends realms.
Good for you.
Honorable. Good for you.
I acted as if I drank from the wine goblet at the dinner with the queen, and as soon as she was poisoned, I go, aha!
You gave yours to Patrick, right?
Patrick did have mine. Speaking of which, this is his tunic. So
what?
Thank you to there was a little bit of a mix-up. So I am importing the Paladin Patrick look tonight, and he is.
That was a question. When did you get that, and did it come back washed? And I remember you did Patrick's.
The Paladins received their uniforms this week, and I can attest to the lack of. It is not washed.
There you go, Susie.
This is Patrick's, and there is plenty of dirt on it, and I checked the back, and there is dragon pit slime on the back of this.
Oh.
So right at home in this stuff.
And if they're even remotely leather, they probably smell like all sweat too.
Oh, it's all leather. It smells of everything. So once I realized it was Patrick's, I regretted sniffing it so much.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's
Not
great.
going there.
Oh, you still have Everealm with you.
Yes. But we're gonna get this sent to him, and he's sending mine my way. So we'll be
Awesome.
back to normal soon.
That's cool. So, how often do you paladins get to see each other?
Get to see each other. Not often enough.
Mm.
I think the last time I saw paladins was at San Diego Comic-Con, and it was only I shouldn't say that word, but it was with four of the others, and I know the New York Renaissance paladins got to see each other. There has not been a full reunion since, and that is in the works. It needs to happen soon.
Yes,
Well,
agreed.
Yes, agreed. And we need a quest con, everybody. I'm just
God,
saying.
yes.
Yeah.
Please.
That would be awesome. Becca, do you have any questions you want to ask?
Well, it's one of those things that I've been mostly listening, trying to orient myself to what's already been asked, and I still don't quite
That's okay.
know. I don't know if this question was asked, but this is something I've been really wondering. Why is it that it had to be one of the paladins to wield the Sun Spear instead of the Fates themselves actually going and taking care of Verlox themselves?
Why don't the Fates have the power to?
No, it's why don't they? Why does it have to be
Why does it fall to a paladin?
someone from another world? That's the big thing I'm
Right, why wasn't it an Everealm native this time?
Right.
Mhm.
It's my understanding that the stronger Verlox gets, the stronger the paladins have to be. So I think it was that because the other 11 kingdoms had fallen, and this was the closest Everealm had ever been to being completely destroyed or completely under Verlox's power. After the other 11 kingdoms had fallen,
Okay.
Fates recognized that as Everealm being on the cusp of destruction, so they had to look elsewhere for help.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So
That.
why
that
did... Go ahead, Dad. Go. Okay. Why did the Fates...
explains it. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, great.
All right. So why did the Fates wait so long until 11 kingdoms fell and how many thousands of people died or were enslaved?
Right.
I mean,
Who knows? I mean, we don't really know how fast Verlox defeated the other 11 kingdoms. They might have fallen in a matter of days. I don't know. We don't know. So who knows? The time frame. The time frame is definitely questioned,
yeah.
or not in question so much as unknown.
Yeah. And the other thing we don't know is how well Verlox actually had planned this, because if the Vizier was in his employ, and he was from another kingdom, if I remember correctly,
Correct.
we don't know. He could have had agents all throughout all of the kingdoms, and that actually could have been how they fell so easily.
Right. You see men
Especially
like
since there apparently were more in Sanctum under his employ.
men like Hera, and yes, definitely.
Right. Right. And cards. I mean, wait, what?
Hello? Hello? Excuse me?
Uh-oh.
That slipped of the tongue, sorry.
Yeah, there's going to be a slip of the dagger you keep on.
Oh.
You know, I'm just going to drink my root beer. Excuse
Good
me.
man.
I raised my glass.
Raise your glass, save your ass. Yeah, we know. Okay, I got another one from Judith.
Okay.
As this was after your banishment, you may not know. Was the Queen's necklace actually a tracer, or, as Andrew assumed, was it controlling her somehow?
Ooh, good question. I don't remember that.
I'm trying to think back, because we definitely did as paladins were banished, we did sit down and theorize together. It's my understanding that it was simply a tracer. I didn't see it so much as a controlling device. I can see where this question is coming from, wondering if it made her more susceptible to persuasion or to believing the Grand Vizier. But ultimately, I didn't see so much of her interaction with people who were trying to persuade her once she was out of Castle Sanctum, other than the people who were keeping her safe.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, Judith. You've stumped me. I don't know.
Well, and here's something that James added. We've lost his picture for a little bit, and since his microphone's not working, he's actually been saying a few things, and I just saw it now. Sorry, James. But he said maybe the necklace didn't have time to begin affecting her in that way.
Maybe so. See, here we go back to the Horcrux theory. It's the locket of...
Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah, now there's this Horcrux laying around in the Marwood.
Right.
Right. You know, but my thing is, what seems to be different about that is, after the castle fell, Ralia seemed to gain courage when others started to lose it. She was the one who seemed to really pull people together after a while. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents up there.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, fish head buddies, they rock. So, the Rana. Okay. James also wanted to know, where does Verlox go when he's defeated?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. I would like to know that so we can go stop it.
Exactly. I mean, we know he's going to be released in 1,000 years.
Man.
Why don't we prevent this?
I look at that question as I would, where do the fates go? You know, the Hall of Fates only presents itself to...
Do let the fates out.
Right.
Wow. That's
I had a
the
moment.
meeting I
Sorry.
had.
You did not go there. Oh, wow.
Sorry, back to you, James.
No, it's fine. I look at it like the Hall of Fates. The Fates present themselves to who they deem worthy. So maybe Verlox is capable of presenting himself, but only to those who he can confide in. I don't know, but I'm sure there's another plane that the Fates retreat to, that Verlox can retreat to. So I don't know.
All right. Well, I didn't exactly see what time we started, and I know it was late. So, you know,
it's 23.
Well, yeah, but we did start late. I'm sorry about that again. So, Jim, it's been our Hangout tradition to let our guests have the floor. So, is there anything you want to ask us?
That I want to ask you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. Well, first of all, has everyone heard of Project Hero, the new campaign?
Absolutely.
Yes. Excited about it.
Great. Definitely be looking. I would be curious as to whether anyone has plans for their Hero Day yet. October 23rd is Hero Day, and that's when we're going to be revealing our Project Hero work. So if anyone had thoughts or ideas for that, I would be curious to hear. If you want to save it and reveal it later, that's fine too.
And if you're on Twitter or Facebook and you want to let us know, Stacy will fill us in, I'm sure. Well, I'm just gonna.
Oh, Josh.
What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?
I'm sorry, the other Josh, the Death Eater Josh now.
Oh, dude.
Damn, man.
Dude, Josh Mom. What have you done? Come back to the light side, or at least slightly gray. That's awesome. Dude, I just can't look at the picture anymore. It's everywhere. Oh wait, put it back on. I want to make sure everyone saw this. Okay. Okay.
Wrong.
Yeah. See. Okay.
Wrong.
So,
many
the
levels.
Josh time has turned into a Death Eater. Everyone, we know his true allegiance. Okay. And you thought the Vizier army was bad. Okay. Then moving on.
We got worse threats.
So, regarding be a hero, there's some ideas that I have. Have to still check them out. A lot of you know that I'm very passionate about the issues of sex trafficking, children soldiers, warfare. So we support groups like the Exodus Road, which sends special ops folks into brothels and such to build evidence and cases against pimps, etc., and then bring them down so that they essentially shut down the entire slave ring. And so it's not taken, okay? We're not talking taken. Sure. In my books, I've taken what the Exodus Road does and a little bit of taken, added them together, and I get my main hero. But what I would want to do with the Exodus Road is hopefully, like, now that I have this channel up and running for YouTube, interview them and maybe get some information out, see if there's ways that, our army's spread around the world. I mean, what could we do if I don't know where these offices are for all these different groups. Is there something that maybe we could do for them? And that's just one idea I have. I don't know if it's going to work. I got time to figure it out. Yeah. Anybody else?
I have a couple of ideas, but these are ones that I go to anyway. Blood donation, of course.
Perfect.
We have a local animal advocacy charity down here called Big Cat Rescue that works to take in abandoned or abused large cats, cougars, lynxes, tigers, circus animals, etc. They're also very heavily lobbying Washington to change the laws of wild animal ownership.
Good.
I've been a financial supporter of theirs for a long time. I had to put that on hold when I lost my job in August. I'll be resuming that first chance I get. But I'm also looking for something a little more human-oriented, so hopefully I will have something new to add to that, and I'll have 3 things to throw onto my hero at resume.
Great.
Awesome. Yeah. Anybody else? How about you, Death Eater?
Is there any good left in that soul?
I haven't really thought of anything yet.
It's okay. You got the whole month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure. No
pressure.
We don't have to put you on the spot.
Yeah, sorry. October 23rd.
I started off with a tough question. I apologize. It's
It's good. You got me thinking, though.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Because that's the whole point of this is we want to make people think how they can take those small steps. And it could be a big step, it could be a small step. It's just getting those people on the right path, the path of righteousness.
Josh, since you threw the invitation out to Twitter, I've got one.
Oh, goody!
Judith's friend Nina,
Hey,
is thinking about drawing portraits to collect money for a family that's hit some hard times.
Oh, that's so
excellent.
cool.
That's a fantastic skill, and that's a great use for it too.
It is.
For
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah, good job, Nina. Thank you for doing that. Rebecca, Jonathan, or James? James, I'll read yours. Any ideas on how you could be a hero leading up to October 23rd?
It's okay. Oh, I think we've got a muted microphone.
Yeah.
Can you hear
I
me
think
now?
we have 2
Yes.
muted.
There you go,
Okay, Jonathan is on.
But I'm talking and it wasn't. I'm actually going to be working October 23rd. So specifically, That's one of my drill weekends, so I'll be doing this thing, doing my army thing.
Very good.
Which is easy. I'm an intelligence analyst. I sit behind a desk and do super secret things that I'd have to kill you if I told you. So it's really not that exciting. But the army itself has outreach programs and stuff that we do to help people out. So I'll probably be participating in some way, shape, or form in one of those things. But just specifically on that day, I'll be busy. So I'll figure something else out for the end of the month.
Sure.
Cool. Got another one from Twitter, Ron Floyd.
Hey,
Also
Ron.
plans to donate blood, running a 5K for World Sight Day,
Nice.
and some other plans.
All right.
Excellent.
Good for you. And James, I'm going to point to James, if it's okay. I'm going to talk about this one a little bit because I actually love what you wrote. He said, not a clue, still trying to figure out who to hero myself. And I don't know if that's a personal goal, that there's something that you want to achieve as a personal heroic goal, or if there's something that someone you want to champion almost. What do you think? How do you mean that? If I can ask that.
Yeah, are you looking for a cause to champion? Is there someone you're looking to reach out to?
Someone specific.
Someone specific. Awesome.
Great.
Good for you, dude.
Yes.
Back before I came down with my funky illness, which I'm so excited that I haven't spasmed and stuff in front of you guys. This is so great. You have no idea.
The entire time you haven't spasmed once?
I know, it's a miracle, right? I keep getting better every day. And you know what helps is these swords back here. I just do some drills and it works. But of course, I was a teacher working at a low-income school, 4th grade. Loved my kids, but I was also mentoring a boy on the side, and I miss that. I miss that engagement and that being a secure, a safe place for them to go to just really plug in. So when I hear you, James, yeah, it is cool. So when I hear you say, or hear, read that you're saying that you want to look to hero someone specific, as if you want to champion somebody specific. That's really exciting and really cool. So there you go. So
yeah, keep us posted with that for sure.
Indeed, I want to hear more. So
yeah, and everybody use those hashtags on social media so that we can hear about what ideas are being thrown out there, because I would love to be reading those.
Yeah. Why don't you remind them what those hashtags are?
Sure. The biggest ones are hashtag be a hero, hashtag project hero, hashtag continue the quest, and hashtag the quest.
Let me see if I can get them on. Yeah.
Awesome.
So once again, hashtag be a hero, hashtag project hero, hashtag the quest, and hashtag continue the quest.
Yes.
So definitely stay connected. And the cool thing, guys, is that if you haven't been up to date with Project Hero, it's on my Facebook page. The banner is it's on my Twitter. It's on the Quest Army Facebook page. I'm sure you're going to see it all over Twitter if you're there. But the executive producers, as well as the paladins, like Jim, are totally behind this project, and it's really exciting because, as some of us, and Shield bumped John Nugent out there, because he's one of the guys who, he and I were really discussing this before, was, as Jim, I think it came across even more, with you and Bonnie, for whatever reason, you guys just emanated heroic qualities, and I think you inspired a lot of people out there. And you, Bonnie, and Katie, really, and so you don't have to be like the awesome MMA fighter, even though Shondo, you're awesome. You can be somebody like me who's a simple scribe.
Simple scribe,
But it doesn't matter. You can be a hero every day of your life. And it doesn't have to be just October 23rd. But what's good about October 23rd is it's a launching point. And we can continue this same quest to be a hero, something positive, like a pay it forward almost type of thing, every day. And it's really rare that you're going to see that from any TV show, and that's something so special that we get it from a reality TV show that is also epic fantasy. And so be sure to follow up on hashtag Be a Hero, hashtag Project Hero, hashtag The Quest, hashtag Continue the Quest. Let folks know, because we all want to know what you're going to do. James I think, James, should I read this?
Go ahead, throw it out there.
All right, rock on, brother. Okay, so he says, thanks, a simple scribe. He loves that. Oh, okay. He's no longer a writer. He's a simple scribe. A reality TV show that was more real than any reality TV show to date.
Yes.
And that's true. And it's epic fantasy. How the heck did they accomplish that? I mean, go the Quest.
Go the Quest.
This is actually one of the few reality shows I enjoy watching.
Very good.
Seconded.
Very
One of
good.
the select few. I could count on one hand how many.
Perfect.
4 or 5, right?
The quest.
Yeah.
Like I keep telling everybody, I don't watch TV. The only reason I've started for fall is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is back, and that's my Marvel geekdom coming out. I don't turn on the TV. And the narrator, I follow him on Twitter. I've known him from when he was working in Transformers.
Excellent.
He was Beast Wars Megatron. Go look that one up.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was. And he said that he was going in to do some work on this show called The Quest and to check it out. I'm like, I'm there. Because I
just want him to narrate my life. That would be...
They're going to do a biopic of you someday, Jim,
Yes.
like
I want to
Helen
see
and
it.
Jim. Okay, that'll be the narrator.
The Jimbo Slice story.
Oh man, I will say you guys are notorious for making these creative things around Jimbo Slice. I know there was the Quest fans started the reality spin-off of Shondo and Jimbo Slice. It was called
yeah.
Yes.
I heard about this.
Cut-ups or something,
Yeah.
and it was. We just started doing premises for each episode, and I died at every single one.
Yeah, he made about a dozen of those. Those are great.
It's awesome.
And then last night, the hashtag Jim for Librarian started, and that just
Yes.
I was that's over the top. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
I've actually been telling people that you need to be the Grand Librarian of Everealm for, ever since.
I keep telling them they need one, so.
I'll make the books.
Lord, have you seen all?
them.
Last night we watched episode 3, right?
Last night was 3.
And all of those little symptom scrolls. Lord, we need a librarian. Okay. And what's so cool. James is totally in support of this too. By the way, he just wrote me.
Grand Librarian Jim. Yeah.
Wow.
But what's so cool about it is I asked Mark Hardesky, I was like, well, hey, can I be Jim's assistant? And he said, yes. I'm like, yes!
Yes!
You're in.
I'll bind all of those into books. You guys have fun.
Perfect.
We will. We'll delve into Everealm and, we'll let you know. Maybe.
Nice.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, we should probably call it good in a couple minutes. So, Jim, is there anything else you want to say?
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for doing this and for having me and for keeping this army alive and real. And it's truly humbling. And I know that everyone behind the scenes feels the same way. So we just thank you guys so much.
Well, it's an honor talking with you.
That's too nice to say. Thank you very much.
Well, it's true. We salute you.
I would love to hear everybody yell for Everealm before I go.
All right. Just don't wake up my daughter. All right. Ready?
1,
2, 3.
Everealm!
Raise your glass for Everealm. Okay.
I'm out of water.
I have a cell phone. Does that count?
Yeah, sure. Why not? And this is Texas something. My kind of signature drink. I should stop it. I know.
It's not root beer.
Jim, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to end the live broadcast shortly, but guys, we can stay on and hang out and have fun and talk. If people drop off and anybody else wants to jump back on, let us know, and we'll try to juggle that around. It's still technical difficulties nights. The Fates are at least laughing at me, so we'll see how it works.
At least they're smiling.
Yes, you know what? How rare is that? Can I just say one last thing before we go? Jim, it was so cool watching you because I think you were the only paladin to thank the Fates as you were leaving. And, I mean, that just showed strong character, man.
So much class.
Thank you very much. It was not the easiest thing to do, especially with Talma, but...
They look terrifying. Okay. Especially her. Oh, God. Someday maybe I'll get to look at her face and be like, please, don't banish me.
Have mercy. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Once again, thanks to the other James. Hopefully we'll get your mic working next time. For Jonathan, for Josh Mogg, my northern counterpart, for Rebecca, for Stacy, the Vizier's friend and
champion,
secretary.
And once again, I'm at Aletheia Novels, Joshua, and we will see again. Joff and Rebecca are back next week. So thanks again for joining the Quest Hangout. And because I did promise them, and there was sound difficulties. Remember Eduardo Sanchez and Greg Hale's new and Court 5's new horror movie, the very scary, creepy Bigfoot. I think it's in Texas.
Yes, it is.
You know, exists coming out later this month.
Yep, mind your backyard.
Yeah, mind your
So
backyard.
in addition to jackalopes, Texas now has Bigfoot.
Yes. So don't go to any creepy cabins. And if you do, just bring help. Okay, anyway.
I'm glad I'm in the
Bring
north.
the sun spear.
Need my son's beer.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole other conversation, and we have to end it. So good night, everybody. And the fun will continue after we end the live broadcast.
Good night.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.